Hi there, it's Coach Karen with The Watering Mouth, where we give you the mindset and recipes to help you eat to live and love it for good. Today I want to talk to you a bit about relationships. And I don't mean that relationship that you have with your significant other, or maybe your mother-in-law, or even your best friend. I want to talk to you about your relationship with food. Is it healthy? Is it unhealthy? Does it need a bit of an overhaul? So I'm going to talk to you about a couple of things that I've either noticed in my life or in the lives of my clients that are signals that you perhaps need to take a deep look at your relationship and maybe start making some changes. Most of my clients come to me telling me that they think about food all the time. I had one such client tell me that she would wake up in the morning thinking about what she ate the day before and feeling guilty and planning for that next day's food. After breakfast, she would start planning right away for what she would have for lunch. And then 45 minutes later, the smell of the donuts wafting in from the break room would take her mind straight to the sugar, and it was overpowering. She would spend about an hour trying to avoid eating them, and then at the end would break down, have a donut, maybe two, and then start the guilt trip all over again, where she would promise herself in the evening she would do better. But, of course, what would happen in the evening? In the evening, after a long day's work, she would sit down to a glass of wine, and as soon as she had that wine to relax, she would start snacking. And then when she went to bed, she would feel guilty, and the process would start over and over, day in and day out. It was no way to live, and she was miserable. So what we did with her is we created a simple plan that was easy to follow through on with super healthful foods. And then the most important part was that we overhauled her relationship with food, and she ended up getting to a place where food was no longer an issue. She ate food for fuel, but it didn't fuel her mind all day long with these obsessive thoughts about it. To be honest with you, I can't even remember what her weight got down to, and that's the amazing thing about changing your eating habits and eating in a Nutritarian style. It becomes less about the weight and more about the health. And as you're focused on the health, the weight just drops off. I remember my relationship with food a couple of years back and how it wasn't so good. When my kids were little, I remember loving that quiet time after they went to bed at night where I could sit and have a snack and feel some relaxation and just enjoy my evening by myself. I would start planning for this snack probably around dinner time. I would start thinking, oh, it would be so good to have this, or for me, it was probably ice cream or maybe some chocolate covered almonds. You know, what kind of treat could I have tonight to help me relax after the kids go to bed? It would take over my mind. So then the moment they were asleep, I'd head right to the freezer or the pantry and grab a snack. But I have to tell you, the anticipation of that snack was way better than the snack ever tasted. And then after I ate it, I felt kind of cruddy and ended up really beating myself up over it. You know, why did you eat that? It wasn't even that good. You know, this is why your pants are getting tighter and tighter. So my relationship certainly needed an overhaul, and I was able to do that. And I have to tell you, today, food is not an issue for me. If I want a snack, once in a while I'll have a snack. It's usually a healthful snack, something a little bit more nutrient dense than a bowl of ice cream. But it is not an issue for me anymore. I don't go to bed beating myself up or wake up in the morning thinking how I can do better that day. And I want that for my clients, and I want that for you. Some other things that might be a good flag to tell you that your relationship with food needs an overhaul is how you eat in public. Does it stress you out? When you get invited somewhere, are you momentarily excited for the event and then you start to worry, what will I eat? What will it look like? What if I pile my plate filled with desserts? What will everybody think? You know, the moment that you're following around, you know, the waiter with the past hors d'oeuvres, if you get overcome with worry about events, that's another signal that your relationship with food needs an overhaul. I have had many clients that tell me they eat one way in public and one way in private. And I really feel like that is a strong signal that we need to look at your relationship with food. You know, one such client told me that if you took snapshots of all the food she ate out in public, she should be a size 2, not a size 16. What happens when you eat one way in public and one way in private is there's usually so much shame and guilt about it. So if you can see yourself in any of these scenarios that I've talked about, then you might want to take a look at your relationship with food. If you don't have any guilt, you don't have any shame, you're not replaying what you ate in your head over and over and over, then great, you're on the road to health and wellness, both physically probably and emotionally. But if you're having difficulty reconciling who you are and who you want to be, maybe your food choices make you not feel well, make you feel guilty, you feel a lot of shame around them, then you need to take a look at that relationship. If you want to take a look at that relationship together, your very next step is to book a call with me for my private coaching program, where we can take a look at what's going on specifically in your life and create a game plan that will help overhaul your relationship with food, but also overhaul your health. You can find that link in the show notes, or you can go to www.thewateringmouth.com/coach with Karen. And from there, you can just apply for a call and we can jump on the phone. And I can see how I can help you attain your relationship goals.